during the meeting. We're going to continue with this evening, just to help ourselves with the pacing, is our timer. That's an important part of every Toastmasters meeting. Keeping on track with your presentations is very important. And what we're going to do, I'll forego our normal procedure, but I'll introduce our timer for the evening, Shanil Al-Alim, and he is going to keep track of things. Our speakers this evening, all 5 of them, are targeted for about 10 minutes apiece, and so Shanil's going to do his job in helping us stay on track. With that, let's get to our first presentation of the evening. This particular one is a great one to give some background about Toastmasters and get started. You're going to learn about the history and structure of Toastmasters as an international organization and the Queen City Club specifically. Providing that information in that session this evening, please welcome Art Cardenas.
Thank you. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm going to give my presentation started. All right, finally we have a presentation. My name is Art Cardenas, and tonight we have a special presentation. This is about the history and the structure of Toastmasters International, as well as our own club, Queen City Toastmasters. More than giving you a lot of information about the both organizations, is hopefully you can get something out of this presentation tonight. So it becomes a better image, a better picture of what's all this about. So tonight I'm going to be talking about Toastmasters International, which is our parent organization, as well as our own club, Queen City Toastmasters. My presentation, oh by the way, can you hear me all the way to the back? Okay, good, thank you. If for any reason you cannot hear me, just raise your hand or tell me that. My presentation is divided into 2 sections. The first one, I'm going to be talking about Toastmasters International, is the history and organization. And the second one, I'm going to be talking about our own club and about the same thing. It's the structure and organization and the history. Toastmasters International. It was established in 1924 by Ralph Smithley, which, by the way, I'm going to show you a picture. Ralph Smithley is the gentleman in the middle of the board pictures. Back in 1924, he was working for the YMCA in California, and he observed that most patrons at the YMCA did not speak properly. He decided to establish the first program to teach people how to speak properly in public. In 1924, he established the first club called the Toastmasters Club. The reason for the word Toastmasters is because back in the early 1900s, Toastmaster was referred for the people who introduced the speakers at a social event, like toasting with a cup of wine. That was basically to attract new members to the organization. He was trying to attract younger crowd, and he actually worked that really good for him. Then he had the first meeting at the YMCA where he was working. He was the director of education. In 1924, the organization grew rapidly. So rapidly that by the early 1930s, they had the first club in Canada. That's when it changed to be called Toastmasters International. Right now, it is in 116 countries, about 13,500 clubs, and about 300,000 members. Of course, the pictures, one of the things I want to mention about the pictures is, in the early years of Toastmasters, it was only for men. Women, they were not in the picture until the late 50s, early 60s. The organization structure for Toastmasters International is known as the inverted pyramid. And the reason is because members are the most valuable asset. They are on top of the organization. Then we have clubs, areas, divisions, districts, international regions, and the board of directors. Just for you to know, we are Club 1420, and we are in District for the North Carolina 37. We have officers in our club as well as in the areas, divisions, and districts. Once in a while, you're going to hear that those officers are referred as governors for the areas, divisions, and districts, and for our clubs is president or vice president. For the other areas, either assistant governor or lieutenant governor. That's the way they structure the organization. I'd like to show something really interesting. These are the two competent communicator manuals. This is one from the early 1930s, and on the right is the current one that you're going to get in the mail for new members, or the one you already got recently. One of the differences between the two manuals is one of the first one had 12 different speeches. Ours only has 10, and in the past they used to encourage people to read the speech. Nowadays, we don't encourage people to read. We encourage people to follow a more natural way for speeches. So reading is kind of discouraged for us in recent times. Another thing I'd like to mention is the roadmap for success. And this is what just distributed recently about how the roadmap in the Toastmasters organization. I'm not going to go through the entire roadmap, just for you to mention. Just going to mention the part that is important to us is when you join, you give your icebreaker, and then you have speeches 2 through 10. Then you become a competent communicator. There is more steps involved where you can actually be officer of the club, or finally where you become a distinguished Toastmaster, which, by the way, Pete Provo is one of our distinguished Toastmasters, and I believe Sonia is also working to become a distinguished Toastmaster. Just mentioned briefly, the logos have been evolved, the original one and the new one. And we also have 2 more where they put a slogan where leaders are named, which I think is really good to attract new members. Now, the most important part, I'm going to be talking about our own club, Queen City Toastmasters. It was established in 1954 here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Originally, most members were men. Women started to participate until the 1960s. The first locations where the club met was in a restaurant. Now we meet here at the Cisco offices. We may be the oldest club in Charlotte, but we're also the most modern club. We are the one who use the latest internet technologies like social media, as well as regular internet websites to attract new members, so we are very proud of it. As technologies continue to evolve, we're going to try to implement those technologies. Our next technology to implement is going to be live video. Hopefully in the next minutes we can implement that, the live video, as well as have better agendas, which thanks to Sonia we have changed. The organization chart for our own club. We have our president, which is Laura Provost. We have 3 main vice presidents. The vice president of education, which is Shanil. Vice president of membership is James. He's not here today. He's going to be here in the next meeting. And I am the vice president of public relations. Just to mention briefly, the vice president of education is the person who assigns you, if you like, a mentor, and also keeps track of all your speeches that you have given, so you can get credit for all your speeches, and when you become competent communicator or competent leader. In my case, just to mention briefly, I'm responsible for the internet websites, as well contacts with all the media, newspapers, and all the other media in Charlotte. Also, at the same time, we have 3 more positions. We have treasurer, Steve Murphy, which is not here today. Secretary, Chrissy Grisham, and our sergeant of arms, which is Vincent. I want to mention the many events that we have here at the club. A lot of people ask me what kind of diversity events we have, diverse events we have. we have made 8 events. In January, we have the TLI West. TLI stands for Toastmasters Leadership Institute. That one is when you want to become more involved with the club. In March, we have the International Speech and Table Topics Competition. I encourage you to please attend this competition. You're going to see the best speakers. And that's where you actually get to learn from all those speakers. All of them are flawless, almost perfect. You get to learn and see them in action. It's very important if you can make it just for to watch these speakers. It's very important if you can go. We also have another TLI in May. In July, we have our camping trip with all the Toastmasters. In October, we have the humorous speech and evaluation contest. We have another TLI in November. In December, we have the Christmas parties. And of course, we also have another ongoing theme meetings. Like our next meeting is going to be Mardi Gras. So we encourage you to come. Sometimes we have meetings in different locations too. Another thing important is about the membership cost. We have a $20 initial fee that pays for the manuals, the books that you're going to get. Also, we charge $7 a month for the membership. $7 go to our parent organization. We only get $1 from the members for our organization. That's basically to pay for the meal, which is the most expensive expense we have right now. Everything else is volunteer contribution, so you're more than welcome to participate in our meetings, officer meetings. All of you are welcome. Your ideas are very important how to grow the club. And we will have ongoing club team meetings. Finally, I'd like to mention our internet websites. We have the main one, and all of you, I encourage you to go. You're going to get an email with where to go. It's called our free Toast Post. If you can just go and log on into this website, so you can get the agenda, and you can sign up for roles. You're going to see 2 parts for the member login and the meeting agendas. If not, you can see me at the end, and I can give you more information about that one. We also have the meetup to attract new members. We have YouTube channels where you can actually see all your videos recorded, except competitions. We don't record competitions. We have our Facebook page and our Facebook group that you're more than welcome to join. Finally, I'm going to mention some of the pictures we have over the years, our camping trip. Unfortunately, the colors don't see very well, but that's some of the pictures we have at different events. With that, I conclude the presentation. I'd like to return control to our Toastmaster.